Hello everyone, my name is Derek, and in this video I will explain how I wrote a C++ program that performs basic calculations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. The program takes two integer values from the user and displays the results. So in line 1, we have the include IOStream. This line includes the IOStream library. It allows us to use input and output commands such as cout for displaying information and cin for receiving input from the user. In line 3, we have the using namespace std, which is standard. This line allows us to use standard C++ commands without writing std before them. And we have the main function, which is the int main. The main function is where the execution of the program begins. Every C++ program needs a main function. The word int means the function returns an integer value. And we move on to line 9 and 10. So with these lines, I created two integer variables called num1 and num2, which is num first integer and second integer. These variables will store the two numbers entered by the user. And we move on to line 12 and 13. So the first line, which is line 12, displays a message asking the user to enter the first number or integer. And line 13, the cin statement receives the value from the keyboard and stores it inside the variable, which is num1. If we take the second input, so this works the same as the first one. It asks the user for the second number and stores it inside num2. So we move on to how the calculation will work. So in line 18, the line adds two numbers together. The plus sign is the addition operator. The result is displayed using the cout and endl. The result is displayed using cout and the endl, which is this side. Endl moves the cursor to the next line. So we move on to line 20, which is the subtraction operation. So this performs subtraction. The minus sign between the num1 and num2. The minus sign subtracts the number 2, this num2, from num1 and prints the answer. So move on to the multiplication operation. So this multiplies the two numbers using the multiplication operator, which is the asterisk here. So there's an asterisk here. Yes, there's an asterisk here which will multiply num1 and num2. And as I said, the endl will move the cursor from line 22 to the next line of the programming or the coding. So we have the division operation. This divides num1, which is number 1, by number 2, or the first integer by the number 2, or the second integer, using the division operator. Since the variables are integers, the result will also be an integer. So in the ending part of the programming, we have the return 0. The return 0 shows that the program ended successfully. So, and the closing bracket here ends the main function. From here, so we have a open bracket here at line 5, and we have the closing bracket at line 27, which means we are done with our main function. So in conclusion, the program demonstrates how to use variables, user input, output statements, and calculation operators in C++. Thank you for watching.